Hi everyone, my name is Anthony Garcia. I'm 18 years old and I'm from Norwalk, Connecticut.
My name is Allie Patterson. I'm 16 years old and I am from Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
So currently we are in Seoul, South Korea. Yeah! And we actually won a scholarship called National Security Language Initiative for the Youth, which is also known as NSLI-Y.
Or just Nestle.
Or Nestle. There's 12 of us actually around Seoul who were lucky enough to actually win the scholarship. It all started around this time in September when we actually applied and found out later in March that we are actually coming to South Korea.
I thought I found it in April, but okay.
Was it April? Maybe it was
yeah,
April.
April 17th.
Okay.
Definitely.
April. It was April.
Yeah. So now we all live in separate cities around South Korea, or mostly based around Seoul. And we live with host families. Some have siblings their own age who go to their school, and like me, I have younger siblings, so they don't go to my school. This is where I'm living right now, in Ilsan. And it's really, really beautiful, so I got really lucky. But my house is about an hour and a half away from my school, which is Daewon in downtown Seoul.
I do not live anywhere near Ali, so I live probably an hour and a half away from her. I live in Kurogu. My nearest station is Kaebong Station, so I have to actually commute about 10 minutes through bus, and it takes me maybe 30 minutes to actually go to school, which is Seoul Gyeongsang, or Seoul Media High School.
So we're going to share with you a couple of our first impressions of South Korea. Anthony is going to start.
For those who are actually watching us, this is my second time being here in South Korea, so I'm pretty lucky. With the same program, they gave me the scholarship again, actually, so I'm pretty lucky. Last time I was in Jamsil, and I actually went to Sogang Daehakyo, which is Sogang University, one of the most prestigious, also known as high school college, because it's not very college, like more of a high school difficulty-wise. My first time here, I guess the difference I saw was about probably the people actually saying hi to you everywhere you go. I'm pretty sure Ali sees the same thing. We're everywhere. They're like always bowing to us and saying 안녕하세요 or 어서오세요, which means welcome in Korean. My second time coming back is way different because I actually have to have a uniform that I have to wear. And actually going to uniform place and actually seeing what they have is way different than going to an American store and finding your right size. I'm a pretty big guy, so I'm an L size. Here in Korea, not an L size, so it's pretty difficult to actually find, the right size clothing, or even if you have big shoes, well, good luck finding them here in Korea.
Yeah, it's really hard to find American sizes because people here, you probably know, are pretty tiny. So if you're unfortunate like us and have like large shoes or bigger size clothing, then it's really hard to shop for what you need.
Very true.
As for my school, I have to travel maybe an hour and a half, not including walking, to get to my school to and from. So I have to walk from my house to the station, from my station to the school, which is a lot of walking every single day. And we have to wear really hot uniforms, which can kind of get uncomfortable after a while. But it's really rewarding, and at the school they're really, really friendly and very welcoming to us, and they make a very big effort to welcome all of the foreign exchange students, and I really appreciate that.
Well, so that's also because you're going to an all linguistics high school as well.
Yes, that's true. I go to a foreign language high school,
yes.
So everybody either speaks like fluent English. Well, everybody speaks fluent English, but they speak Chinese, Japanese, French, Spanish. What else?
Don't they have German as well?
Yeah, they have German as well. So everywhere you go, everybody is trilingual, bilingual, whatever.
Yeah.
So that makes our time a lot easier at high school. But I'm afraid that I won't learn Korean as quickly because everybody just speaks English to me. But our Korean classes are very intensive, so I'm assuming that we'll pick it up very quickly.
Yeah, like our classes, they, you have been through the process and all that, you've come to Korea, you'll see that not everyone speaks English. You expect it to, a lot of Koreans to actually interact with you, but they'll probably just interact with their eyes and just stare at you. But if
Staring's a big problem.
yeah, especially if you're blonde or you're tall or different colored skin. But it's no biggie, I guess. It's only been our 3rd week, so we can't say really much. But yeah, even though I think Ali, even though she, thinks that she won't learn any Korean, by the time we actually leave, she'll know a lot. She is a polyglot here as we speak. Even though she might not admit it, she's really good with languages. And as I've known Korean, I've been studying Korean for a while. So, yeah.
So, staring, like he mentioned, is a pretty big problem everywhere you go, especially if you're a foreigner. Even if you don't really look like a foreigner, they'll know, and they will stare at you a lot.
Some of our friends are actually Asians, or part Asian, and even though they look Asian, when they come up to you and they actually start talking to you in Korean, obviously you're not going to understand if you don't know the language. So they'll probably give you a stare.
Yeah, the best way to get around that is just to look down or look away or just don't make eye contact with them, because if you do make eye contact with them, like I did when I first got here, they will continue to stare at you. And it's pretty intimidating, but you get used to it after a while. Yeah. Next we're going to talk about what we think of the current cities that we live in. And being that I have already showed you where I live, Anthony's going to tell you a little bit about where he lives.
Well, compared to Ali's city, Ali has all nature. There's mountains everywhere you go, and she has, more traditional stuff to actually go through. So, even though her distance-wise to go to school is pretty far, I think it's still worth it. It's like really rewarding to actually come here. This is my first time coming to Ilsang, so I've never been here. It's really gorgeous. My city, Kurogu, is more of a business. It's known as the business area because there's so much business going around. If it's either phone companies, restaurants, norebangs, which is also karaoke. There's, I guess the Seoul life comes alive at night, not in the morning, because everyone's working, school, or, I don't know, lunch breaks, so it's not really much seen in the morning.
Yeah, the city life is really fun. I think that's what's the best part about Korea is there's so much to do all the time. You will never be bored here. I may just be saying that because we've been here for 2 weeks, but yeah. Everywhere you go there's something new to see and do, and there's a lot of street performers. Like today I was pursued by a clown who made me a flower and made us laugh.
We're probably going to upload those photos as well if you follow us, and you can follow our trips around Seoul and discover our little journeys. If not, follow me on Facebook or follow Ali on Instagram, as well as we both have Instagrams, and follow our little adventures that we have throughout our year here.
And every week we're going to post a new video, hopefully if we have the time. And you can follow us in our adventures, and we will be glad to see you. Thank you.
Bye guys.
On his way, so he climbed aboard a jet plane that took him far, far away to see what he could find across the world and international daylight. He left his hometown welcome sign far, far